The city lights glittered outside my window, a million tiny promises of life and connection. But inside, my apartment felt like an island. Just me, the glow of my phone, and the silence. I was mindlessly scrolling, the digital world a comforting hum against the quiet of the night. You know how it is. Another video, another meme, another glimpse into someone else's perfect life. The hours just melt away. My thumb was about to flick to the next post when the screen suddenly went black, replaced by an incoming call. My heart did a little flutter kick in my chest. Who would be calling this late? Then I saw the number, my own. My blood ran cold. It had to be a glitch, right? A spam call with a spoofed number. That's what I told myself. My thumb hovered over the red decline button, but a morbid curiosity, a little voice that always wants to know what's behind the locked door, made me swipe to answer instead. I pressed the phone to my ear. My breath held tight in my lungs. Silence. Then, a sound like static, like a radio caught between stations. A voice crackled through, distorted and low, a chilling whisper that seemed to slither right into my ear. It sighed my name, not shouted, not spoken, but breathed. Anna. My hands started to tremble. Who is this? I managed to choke out, my voice barely a squeak. The distorted whisper came again, ignoring my question. Cozy on the couch. Aren't you, Anna? Love that blue blanket. I froze, my eyes darting down to the very blue, very fuzzy blanket wrapped around my legs. My mind raced. How could they know? I jumped up, the blanket falling to the floor. My gaze flew to the windows. The blinds were drawn, just a sliver of the city showing through. No one could see, and you're watching that silly cat video again. The voice rasped, a hint of amusement in its distorted tone. The one where it falls off the shelf. You always laugh at that one. My phone felt like a block of ice in my hand. He was right. That was exactly what I was doing just seconds before the call. This wasn't a prank. This was something else. What do you want? I demanded, trying to inject some strength into my voice, but it came out as a panicked tremor. The only reply was a low, guttural chuckle that seemed to echo in the room long after the sound stopped. Then, the line went dead. I stared at the blank screen, my own reflection staring back, wide-eyed and pale. My breath was coming in ragged gasps. I had to be logical. This was a hack. Someone had accessed my phone's camera, my microphone. That was it. It had to be it. But logic felt a million miles away. The silence in the apartment was suddenly deafening, thick with unspoken threats. Every creak of the old building, every sigh of the wind outside, sounded like a footstep. I scrambled to my feet, my phone clutched in a white-knuckled grip locks. I needed to check the locks. I ran to the front door, my heart pounding a frantic rhythm against my ribs. The deadbolt was thrown. Solid. Secure. I twisted it back and forth. Justo be sûr. Then the windows. I went to each one, checking the latches, pulling on the frames. All locked. All secure. Primera wa es safe. I was sealed in, but the feeling of being watched didn't go away. It was like a physical pressure on my skin, a pair of unseen eyes boring into my back. I leaned against the wall, trying to catch my breath, trying to calm the storm in my chest. It's okay. You're okay. You're alone. The thought, which was usually a comfort, now felt like a curse. I was alone. Completely. No one to help me. No one to call. Except the police. What would I say? Hello. Hello? My own phone number called me and described my blanket. They'd think I was crazy. They'd tell me to block the number. And how do you block yourself? My phone, my lifeline to the outside world, now felt like a traitor. A spy in my own home. I wanted to smash it, to throw it against the wall and watch it shatter into a million pieces. But I couldn't. It was my only connection, My only way to call for help if I really needed it. I slid down the wall, sinking to the floor, pulling my knees to my chest. I stared at the dark screen, waiting for what? I didn't know. The minutes stretched into an eternity. The hum of the refrigerator, the sound I never usually noticed, was now a roaring engine in the oppressive quiet. I started to second-guess everything. Was the door really locked? Did I check the window in the bathroom? My mind was playing tricks on me, feeding my fear. The apartment, my safe haven, was transforming into a cage, and I was the one who had locked myself inside. Maybe I was just overtired, stressed from work. Maybe my mind had finally snapped after one too many late nights and one too many true crime podcasts. I was about to convince myself to just go to bed, to hide under the covers and wait for morning, for the sanity that sunlight always brings. Then my phone lit up again. The screen glowed with an unholy light in the dim room, and my blood turned to ice water. The ringing was louder this time, more frantic, more urgent. It echoed off the walls, a piercing shriek that vibrated through the floorboards. I didn't want to look Premier ID. To look, my eyes slowly focused on the caller ID. It wasn't my number anymore. 2 words. Simple, impossible, and utterly terrifying. Caller inside. A scream was caught in my throat, a strangled, silent thing. My eyes shot up from the phone, wildly scanning the dark corners of my living room. The shadows seemed to deepen, to writhe and twist into malevolent shapes. The call was coming from inside the house. The thought was a physical blow. The ringing stopped. And in the sudden, crushing silence that followed, I heard it. A soft, deliberate sound from upstairs. A floorboard creaking in my bedroom. My heart didn't just pound, it detonated. Someone was here. They were in my house. They were upstairs. Every horror movie trope, every campfire story, every primal fear I'd ever had crashed down on me at once. Don't go upstairs. Get out of the house. Run. My legs were frozen, glued to the floor. My brain screamed commands that my body refused to obey. The phone in my hand felt impossibly heavy. Who was up there? How did they get in? The locks were secure. I checked them myself. Unless they were already here. Hiding. Waiting for me to feel safe, to let my guard down. The whisper from the phone echoed in my mind. Cozy on the couch, aren't you? They had been watching me the whole time. Another sound, a soft scraping noise from the top of the stairs, the sound of something being dragged. My breath hitched. Primera de to move now. I pushed myself up, my legs shaking so violently I could barely stand. The front door was my only hope. It was just a few feet away, but it felt like miles. Every shadow was a monster. Every corner held a new terror. My eyes were locked on the top of the staircase, on the deep, dark void of the hallway leading to my bedroom. I could almost see a shape moving in the blackness, a silhouette darker than the shadows around it. I took a step towards the door, then another. My movements were slow, jerky, like a puppet on tangled strings. The floorboards under my own feet seemed to scream with every agonizingly slow step. Don't make a sound, my mind pleaded. Don't let them know you're moving. But they already knew. The phone in my hand vibrated, not with a call, but with a text message. With a trembling finger, I swiped to open it. It was from the same unknown entity. The message was just one sentence. I can hear your heart beating, Anna. It's so loud. A fresh wave of terror washed over me. They weren't just in the house, they were toying with me. This was a game to them, a sick, twisted game where I was the pawn. I was almost at the door. My hand reached out, my fingers trembling as they brushed against the cool metal of the deadbolt. Freedom was just a twist away. I could burst out into the hallway, scream for help, run into the street, but then I heard it again. A voice. Not distorted this time, not through the phone. It was clear. It was close, and it came from right behind me, leaving so soon. Thanks so much for watching. If this story gave you chills, Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more Tales from the Dark. Let me know in the comments what you would have done, and whatever you do, don't answer calls from unknown numbers, especially your own. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you in the next one.